going and what we're doing, you do not need to fill in your whole plan book right now, but here is a quick scope of where are we going and what are we doing.
Are we getting a new packet for 311 315?
You're going to. There's also a new resource page today. So speaking of new packet coming, check it. So our plan book, what we have written down, is up through 315 here. So if you don't have this week's plan book filled in, please make sure you're looking at the blue, the Math 8. Here's the rest of the chapter, though. So after 315, probably zoom in a little bit, we have 6 and 7 still to finish up. And this is the amount of days that things should take. So all of these are one-day lessons. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons in the 3.2 section with a little bit of like purpose, like with us having some purpose behind how quickly we move. There's this week. There's next week. What's the note that I have on next week? Bum, bum, bum. Last full week before Discovery Day. And then this week, the week following, you only have 2 days of school, guys, if you're mastered. So we're going to try to get to the Chapter 3 Mastery before Discovery Days. I say all of this to tell you, you need to do your homework when it's assigned, and you need to ask questions when things don't make sense. I've got some people who are like refusing to ask questions, and guys, I'll be straight up with you. I'm only giving out 3 masteries today. All the tests coming back are progressing except for 3. And that's just how things work at Phoenix, right? Like, you made mistakes. We need to fix those mistakes. Most of you made the same mistake, which is the trapdoor most 7th graders fall in, of not taking the negative through all of the pieces that it should be. So as we start looking at our answers and stuff, but I wanted to show you this, like, we only have a week and a half more. Like, I mean, after this week of the first quarter, right? We gotta do a little skedaddle, but if you're just like not really caring about the homework, it's gonna bite you in the butt really quickly. Because the homework is what informs, the practice is what informs us being able to master things.
What is our last assignment for this quarter?
This is the last thing I am collecting for the quarter. 311 to 313. The mastery you're about to get back is the final mastery of quarter 1 grading. We will take another mastery during quarter 1, but it will not go on quarter 1. It will go on to quarter 2. Has anyone explained grade cutoff to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's different for every class.
Let's make sure that like what they said jives with what people understand. So,
That's a fun word.
jives. Yeah. So guys, this is today. Right? Here this Tuesday, whatever today is, 28th. We cut off grades tomorrow so that by this Friday, really this Thursday, Friday, we can tell people who is clear for Discovery Days. So you have from tomorrow, really okay, Thursday if we want to be technical, you have a week to get stuff done. On this Thursday, Friday, your advisor will probably have a meeting with you, and for very certain people, they might say, if you get XYZ done over the weekend, then you can go on Discovery Day. So if you're not mastered and you're not actually mastered yet, sometimes we work a special deal with you, but most of the time not. If you have a ton of practice work, you'll be told to stay for that, even though our normal policy is mastery work keeps you here, practice work often doesn't. You got a ton of it, that's like worth mastery work. Like a lot of practice work is like worth mastery work. Max?
So it's like asking questions and stuff. What if you don't know what to ask? 'Cause like
You just come up and say, I'm confused.
okay.
Yeah, literally. You just walk up to whatever teacher, and that's for any class. You don't have to know what to ask. You just say, like, I'm stuck, I'm confused. And then the teacher will start to help you learn how to ask what questions. I did that with a student earlier who's not even my student. They take math with Mr. Smith. They walked up and they said, I need help on number 4. I said, great, what do you need? They're like, help. I He said, okay, what don't you understand? Okay, do you understand what this word means? Do you want, like, we start to kind of tease out the question asking thing. Just come see us. Just come talk with us, really. Okay? Huh, thanks. It's, my one broke, so we're getting into the backup masks. All right, homework. I guess we could jump down pages. 311. Double checking these because I don't think we did. Check your rule at the bottom. You may have written it like 3 times x plus 2, right? So all because if you don't have it written out in words, that is fine. This is 311, right? Not last night's homework. This is 311 because I'm going to collect these things on Wednesday. So if you are confused, you should ask a question. Anna? Can you still what? Sure. What? You can always ask anything. Yeah, the week of Discovery Day, because that Friday is a day off for the entire district.
So then it would be Discovery Day, and then Friday.
A day off. Yeah.
And then we would have Monday, Tuesday?
No, the Monday, Tuesday we have is before Discovery Days. Where did I just throw my plan book? Discovery Days are on what dates? So the short week that we have are these 2 days prior to Discovery Days. Wednesday is Discovery Day for mastered people. Thursday is Discovery Day for everybody. Friday, there's just straight up no school.
So you basically have
The next week is normal.
you basically have 4 days. Just like, yeah, the weekend too.
Yeah, and your Discovery Day can happen on that Friday, on that Saturday. Like, it doesn't have to be on those days. We just give you those days to do it, and because we need that time to work with people who aren't mastered.
Okay, I didn't know that no school Friday.
Yeah, that's district-wide. Yep.
What is it for?
Compensation for conferences, because teachers work beyond contract to do conferences. So by contract, they give us that time back. It's all very convoluted. All right, questions on 4 or 5. We need to get through this so we can move on. Max, thank you very much.
I was having trouble with the 3-4, like a lot,
With A, B, or C, or just whatever.
all of them, A, B, and C.
So this goes back to kind of what we were doing yesterday. What we have to look at in any of these problems are the corresponding points that we know. So here that would be 2, 8. So if I just looked at 2, 8, I might think times 4. Right? How do I go from 2 and get to 8? I might in my head think, well, a times 4 could work to do that. But then I go on and I check my other points. And times 4 doesn't work for -2 to -4. So now I kind of throw that out and say, well, crap. This doubles, right? From -2 to -4 doubles. So does that work? Times 2? No, because it doesn't work here. So now we have to take both of these ideas in a way and look at another point, right? So 8 to 26, well, we could double. We could, wait. If we triple, we're still under our 8. But if we triple -2, we'd be at -6. So really, we just have to start thinking about options. And guys, this is when you can't be afraid to get it wrong. Like, you can't be afraid to be wrong in the middle of solving a problem. We're often wrong. Finally, we're right. Right? Like, our thinking is not, like, correct until we're done, which is fine. You can be wrong in the middle. So if we think about times 3, well, what's 8 times 3? 24. So if we did times 3, what else would we need? Plus 2 more, right? So then I can start to test it. And all of these have just been guesses so far. Times 4 didn't work. Times 2 didn't work. Times 3 plus 2 works for this one. Times 3 plus 2 more works for this one. Times 3 would be 6. Plus 2 more be 8. It works. So now we say, okay, our x multiplies by 3 and gets 2 more added to it. So really, the nicer way to write that is 3 times your x, add 2 more.
Did you do like 3x?
Yeah, you don't have to have the multiplication symbol because a number right up against a variable.
Wait, could you do negative 3x?
Nope, it does not work.
No, I mean, like, could you write that if it's...
Yeah, you can. You could put a negative out here, but that wouldn't work here.
I know.
But you totally could.
If that was the rule.
Yeah. So the problem is I don't have any secret like magic bullet of like here's what you need to know to like be good at this. It's just practice. It literally is. Nobody's born good at this. What we're trying to do is recognize patterns. Here's the hard part about these. They jump around. Like what the heck? If I had -2, then 0, then +2 in order, like that might help me because I would jump up by 2, jump up by 2. I might be able to like see a pattern. But right now, these are all kind of random, so that's what makes it difficult. So in this same, like with this same purpose, I kind of want to get to our lesson today to practice more of this, figuring out the pattern. Let's circle back to this. Like we can definitely take more questions on this, but I want to look at more answers and circle back to it. Because a lot of it is just guess and check. Like, does this work? No. Okay, try something else. So our missing points here. This is we multiply by 2.5, right? So if I look at my first one here, the 2 and the 5, if I think about what straight up multiplication. Hey guys, do I need to separate the two of you because I feel like we help distract each other, not help each other focus? So Max K, I'm still talking about the question you asked about, but you're totally not paying attention. Right? You're looking at Max, you're paying attention to Max. If I look at 2 and 5 and just straight up say, how could I multiply to get there? And then I start testing it or checking it, it actually works. So whereas the straight up multiplication didn't work in A, it does work in B. In C, I might think -1, but then it doesn't work. So then I have to start trying other things right here. This might make me think +1 from 0 to +1, but because one does minus and one does plus, I know something else has to be going on. So then play with what else can we do? Well, how can I make this smaller but make this bigger? Well, 0 doesn't do anything when I multiply or divide. So the add 1 starts to kind of be like, well, if I multiply or divide 0, nothing happens. So this right here is where we should make a little note of like, this must add 1. So I guess here's a trick, like a magic bullet. If you can find the 0, like over here they don't tell you the output, and over here they don't tell you the output, so that's unfortunate. But if you can find the 0, you don't need to wait for me. If you're comfortable with this, just go. If you find the 0, multiplication and division doesn't do anything. So this has to involve an add 1. So that,
Subtract, depending on the situation.
well, yeah, so here, in this specific situation, yeah, it's got to be add 1. Aiden?
Kind of like the whole thing with the 0 with figures.
Yep. Wonderful segue. All right, check 5, 6, 7, 8. Questions on those? The machine, quote unquote, is subtracting 6 from what you put in it. Yeah, Brenda.
For 3-8, part B, the question is, the lines cross at 280. What does the point represent?
Essentially, that is saying those numbers are naked. Put some labels on those numbers. 2 what? 80 what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's literally saying, what does 280 mean? 2 of what? 80 of what? Give it labels.
Thank you.
So you could literally just say 2 hours, 80 minutes. Or 2 hours, 80 miles. Sorry. What's up, Max?
Why is there a 5 in 3-7?
There's actually 4-5. Wait.
This is exactly what I just spoke with you about right before class. We need to work together. Yes. When we solve the... Let's do it! Let's do 5. Or wait, no, 6, right? 6. 7. 7!
You're right on all the time.
I was wrong 3 different times. You want someone who's wrong? I can be real wrong. All right, if you struggled on 7, you better copy this down with me. In 7, I'm going to write everything we start with, and I'm going to have a purple side and a blue side. So my purple side starts with the actual value of x and a 1 and -2. And then I know, -2 or -2, either way.
Sorry, I'm used to when I do it.
I know. And I've said multiple times, you don't have to do it like this.
I know, which is why
It's just how I do it. Because minus is made up and it's fake. Kind of like, can't finish that sentence. Then the opposite down here in the opposite area. These look like 3 positives and looks like a -x. Here, Max, I'll do it your way right here. Instead of a -x, I'll just write it as -x. But if we drug these tiles up, and guys, this is what a lot of us did wrong on the mastery, which is why I am happy to go over this right now. This opposite applies to both of these. So now, I'll go ahead and put these together, I guess. That's a -1. The opposite of 3 is a -3, or you could write -3 if you really want. The opposite of a -x, positive x. So my left side is now 2 x's
2x plus -4.
and -4. Questions on how we simplified the left side of the mat?
Do we have to do the ones that cancel out and like flip over on the thing?
You don't have to do anything.
I know how to do it. It was a lot of work to like, circle and flip it and stuff.
Just for those of you that are comfortable with this, if you want to get a head start on your next homework, for those of you that are comfortable with the problems we're going over right now, because I want to take any questions people have. If we spend the whole class going over questions, I don't care. That's fine. So stick with me. You're fine. I just want to give these to people so they have something to work on right now. I know. So, hey guys, if you are having a realization, give me a scotch of credit that maybe I've already thought about that. I know we need to do 313. I'm just giving you the next packet so you have them, you can put your name on them, and you can start them right now if you want to, because I'm doing a problem for Max and you might not need this. Trying to make sure that you're not just sitting here doing nothing. Anna. I would rather you wait until we check answers.
I found this on the floor. I don't know if this was yours.
Yeah, it's mine. Thank you. All right, what you cannot do is talk to each other right now. Please don't make me regret my decision. We're doing the right now. You guys think I have no idea what I'm doing, don't you?
I know what you're doing.
I mean, sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, but when it comes to math. All right. That was only the left side. That was like before we had the equation mats and we only had the algebra simplification mats like in 311. I think. No, this is 311. I think just from the front of this. Yeah.
On this you did AAB.
Okay, does it matter right now? No. Yeah, please, thank you. This type of mat, guys, a lot of us mess this up on the mastery, so you can start the new homework, but if you're at all iffy on this stuff, you should still be watching me. the right side of the mat has an actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and crap, I should have just made that a minus because now this looks bad. But and the opposite of, I know you can't even see it, but the opposite of what's down? Oh crap! Well, that's 0. That doesn't even really matter because a +1 and a -1, this all cancels out. So the right side is just 6, really. Are there questions on how I got to this point? Yes.
So there's 6 positive. What? It's not +1 -1. It's +1 -2.
There are not 2 down here. Like, help me understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were doing off the previous algebra.
Nope, that's why this is purple, this is blue. Good? Anybody else? Now, since they told us the left side is actually equal to the right side, this is equal to 6. Now, the step that some of us, I don't know, like we're not doing, and we're doing guess and check instead. Guys, this is not guess and check. This is a quick, I know exactly what I need to do, and I can get exactly my answer. No guessing involved. How do I get rid of a -4? Or really what I'm saying is, how do I make this 0? Anybody? Add 4.
You can add 4 to both sides then, too.
So write this out, especially if you're at all struggling on our equation work. We add 4 on both sides. You writing this out? And then what we get is 2x is equal to 10. How do I get rid of something being multiplied by 2? Divide by 2. Thus, I think is what I just heard you say, thus x equals 5. Biggest thing is that we do it on one side, we do the same thing on the other side. All right, 3, 1, 2. There's your answers for 3, 1, 2. Yes.
I have a question about 313. I think I messed up real bad.
I probably did too. Okay. I mean, it's 13. It's a bad number, so.
Part A, I got the output subtracted by 1, and then you divide it by 2.
Guys, this is why we're checking our answers.
Oh, wait. It's the same thing you did, just flipped.
Look, and I'm going to say something because I know Brenda won't care. Brenda did one of the best in the class. I'm like, I don't do you're the best. I don't do that stuff. Brenda did really well on the mastery. Brenda comes and asks me the most questions of any of you. I'm just going to call it out. The people who ask the most questions know what they don't know, right? They say, like, I don't know how to do this. Help me. It's your job. Please and thank you. Be like Brenda. Make me do my job.
Please don't be like me. I'm trying to be something.
Well, okay, I mean, don't, like, threaten to beat somebody up with Taekwondo, but, ask math questions. So here, we're doing 313 for Brenda. We'll go back to the answers.
I know what I did wrong. I figured out what.
Hold on. Just hold it. You're good because other people don't know what they did wrong. Here, the thought in my head might be times 2.5, right? Like the one that we just saw. But if I think about times 2.5, and I come try it here, this would need to be 25. So we know it's not times 2.5, but we know it's got to get bigger, so times 2 is probably likely. If I do times 2, what would fix this one and this one? An extra 1. Test it on another one you know. Does times 2 plus 1 extra, like our x times 2, does it work? 6 times 2 would be 12, plus 1, 13. Great. It checks out for all 3 that we have. It must be an option. So double the x and then add an extra.
What I did was y minus 1 times, or divided by 2. Which
That is correct.
Same thing as x.
That is
Can I just
correct.
leave it?
No.
Okay.
Because we said to give what y equals in terms of x, not what x equals in terms of y.
Gotcha.
So guys, technically what we're saying here is y is. Y is. Y equals. Right? Y is. All right, back to our answers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait.
14, again, we have an equation mat. So I want to do this one as well. I'm still going to do purple-blue because might as well. The left side, when we simplify this and like get rid of what we can get rid of, becomes x plus 4. The right side, when we get rid of and like make zeros, becomes 3x minus 2. Right? And that happened because I can take that away from there and that away from there. And then this could move up, right? Which actually would become a positive. There's nothing I can do here except for move my x up and it become a positive. So if we want to write out all the work, we could. Now we start the do stuff on both sides. The easier, not easy, but easier, deal with small things first. Leave the big things for the end. So a 1x, how do I get rid of a 1x? Just subtract a 1x. So if I remove an x, it'd be like grabbing an x and removing it from both sides. Boop, boop. I got to remove an x over here as well. What we do on one side, we have to do on the other. We now have 4 equals what? 2x minus 2 because we took an x away. Guys, when you subtract x, this does not become 3. Please don't be silly like that. That's why we looked at the tiles to begin with. We have multiple tiles. We took 1 away. Now, because my numbers are on the left-hand side, or my 1 tiles, if we think back to that, put these 1 tiles over there as well. How do I get rid of a negative 2? Add 2. Now I'm just going to write in green because our sides are kind of all mixed up. Like my tiles have been pushed around. And if 6 equals 2x, how do we get to just a single x? Divide by 2.
If I got it wrong, do you want me to just cross it out? And do it?
Sure. Guys, I don't care if you erase, like ever. I don't need you to erase. And especially when we're doing revisions. Guys, not a lot of us had revisions last time. Yeah, I know half of you weren't paying attention, which is fine. Revisions, for me, always go on a separate piece of paper. If you revise on the same paper, it's extremely difficult to grade. It's extremely difficult to give you effective feedback. If you have already done something else, moving forward, do revisions on a separate piece of paper. If you ask the question I just answered, it's going to be kind of funny. Did I say anything about that? Did I give the option of do it on the same piece of paper but in pen? No. So I don't care if you do it in pen, but it must be on a separate piece of paper. Okay? If you haven't done that on something already, it's okay. But moving forward, we gotta be better at this because, and especially because I'll run out of space to write. If you try to cram stuff in on the same test, I got nowhere to write my feedback. Right? We're going both directions. Feedback goes both directions.
Move your paper up a little bit. I
You mean
wanna not,
get rid of
copy.
that?
No.
What?
The thing. I wanna copy it, but understand why it's happening.
So again, because we're still practicing this. Guys, I made the chapter 2 test kind of difficult. Did that on purpose because you're all like the advanced students. So don't feel bad when you get a progressing back. That's what almost everybody got. Because mistakes happen. Trust me, when I installed my toilet the first time, I did it wrong. Guess what I got to do? I got to redo it. You don't just say, oh, I suck, and move on with life. That's not how the world actually works. So, let's practice more of this stuff. I got a handout for you guys. Guys, we need to slow down. Totally fine. Like I said before, how you feel matters more. This is for 313. It's just a handout. It's not homework. It's just a resource page. Be careful when you start looking at this. This tile pattern may not be as easy as what you initially think. You can go ahead and put away your practice sheet for now. We'll take more questions tomorrow. We can talk more about 312. I can push the deadline, or I can push when we turn in homework. I can make it Thursday or Friday, but it's going on quarter 1. So the technical agreement is that we stop assigning quarter 1 work, but today still counts as quarter 1, right? So the homework for today is still quarter 1. So go ahead and check out the tile pattern with your group. You can start discussing what you see and what you notice.
Wait, 15.
As you start to think you know, we can draw it on our resource paper. Then if you move down the paper, you've got a table that we can fill in. So you can go ahead and fill in 3 spots of that table. Calculator. I'm not using a calculator quite yet. We're using that for this, we're using that for over here. That's fine. I don't know that we're using it here. I want you guys discussing it with each other. I don't know, talk with each other. Why do you think that is? Sounds like a conversation I have with your agent over here.
No.
Once you figure out what's going on, fill in the table, then try to graph those points on the graph. The entire front of this. Excuse me, sir, are you doing that homework instead of doing our resource page right now? That I just put on your desk as I walked around the room and said, okay, talk with your group and
When figure 0 be 4?
I don't know, but that's what I think. So I think it's three then. It could be.
Hey, put your name on your resource page, guys. We need that for like 3 or 4 days from now. Put your name on the top of your resource page. If you lose it, I care. I don't want to print more of these. Please put your name on it so when you accidentally leave it on your desk today, I know it's yours. Yeah. No, you can come talk to me about it if you want. We're going to see problems like that again in the future. If you're 0, did you forget your name? Are we unaware of who we are? Spencer. Malachi is not here. Amelia. I really got some knowledge bombs being dropped. What? I just heard the noise of reaction over there. Evan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're talking about a different test
What? Am I talking about a different test? What do you
during class.
No. What do you mean? I'm confused.
So I did the best of the class for them.
Oh, I must be confusing something. But your homework's always really, really good. You're actually good, except for like a couple little things back here. But you do tend to know what you're doing. See, I did misspeak. If Brenda wants me to defend her, and say maybe don't be like Brenda. What should I say at this point? Be like Brenda, don't be like Brenda. Be your.
Be like Brenda and do your and ask questions and ask
Oh my god.
So let's say I just got back a progressing. If I was you, in the next like 5 minutes before the end of class, I would grab a piece of graph paper from the place that has graph paper, i.e. the math classroom. If you only have like 1 or 2 mistakes to fix, I got baby little quarter sheets of graph paper up here that are graph paper on one side, blank on the other side, because they're kind of like construction paper. These are perfect if you only have like a small or a couple mistakes to fix. When I am done with it, I got people not paying attention, and these are the people that are going to do it wrong. When I'm done with it, I staple my revisions on top of my old work, make sure my name is on it, because sometimes staples don't hold, and turn it back into the bin. Your grade is not in math yet. If you do your revisions today, you'll probably beat your grade getting into math. Otherwise, I'm updating grades tonight, and then when you want your P to change to an M, turn in your revisions. Questions?
Can I say talk to you on one of my questions?
Can you what?
Say talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I can't really
Guys,
write it down.
Extensions is when you come meet with teachers about revisions and AO, but extensions, like everybody has extensions unless you're an athlete and then you got to use your AO. Like that's a choice that happens.
But also, does this one need corrections
Hey.
on it?
Not right now.
Gotcha.
Now is not the appropriate time to discuss revision.
I need to get my test.
I don't have your test, so I need you to check your binder and see if you actually stuck it in there. Yeah, I don't have a mastery from you, Mr. Down. Hey, let's talk about that mastery real quick. You actually take it home. Thank you. I'll grade it probably at extensions, so if you want to come back and get it at extensions. Yo, if you put your mastery away, get it back out. If you put your mastery away, get it back out. Guys, I will tell you, Yo, I don't know why people are still talking. I'm trying to help you with your revisions. I will tell you, I do not do trick questions. However, mathematically, and like when we're talking science, hey gentlemen, sit in your seats for a moment, please. You're being super obvious that you're not paying attention to me. And it's okay, I like your excitement to fix things, but I want to talk about some things altogether. Here, some of us skipped the part that said which expression is larger and like trying to compare the two. So I kind of let that slide, that some of us skipped it. And by the way, guys, I want you to see like how much I do care about this. I'm trying to be a better teacher this year. Like, I'm not joking. I'm trying to be a better teacher this year. Guys, this is my grading. This is how much I'm keeping track of stuff, right? So I'm trying to move so you can't see specifically like what people missed, what people got right, so that I can be a better teacher and like know what mistakes we made. So please listen for a minute. I know what mistakes we made. I did heat mapping of like, oh, a lot of people messed up this, not very many people messed up that. Anyone want to talk about the issue with number 2 in trying to compare the expressions with each other? Russell? We don't know what x is. And since both of these use x, the actual answer here is we don't know. We can't compare unless we know x. Now, I did let some pretty decently phrased answers go, like, well, if x is this, or if x is that. Or there were some really good ones, like, as long as x is bigger than this one's bigger, but if it's smaller than that one's bigger. Those are really good answers. So, on the 4, the biggest mistake, actually also up here in number 2, the biggest mistake I saw, this negative goes to both pieces. This negative, might as well zoom in. This negative goes to all 3 of these pieces. This negative goes to all 3 of these pieces, making this 3x become positive. Yeah, if you had 6x, this is the trapdoor you fell into. Yeah, if you wrote down, if your answer involves 6x, the trapdoor is right here. On the back, because I'm running out of time. All of these are what I do to one side, I do to the other. But guys, one thing a lot of us forgot, we can always cross multiply. So, I could do 4 times 10 is equal to 9 times x, and then I can solve from there, and I can leave answers. Guys, you can leave your answer as an improper fraction. It's fine. It's even better sometimes. This is an improper fraction. C is a proper fraction. You don't need to make it a decimal. You do not need to make it a decimal. I will see you guys later. Some of you I will probably see at Extensions for a little bit of help with this. Corrections on a separate piece of paper. Thank you. If you can't tell, that's been an issue in the past, like every single year.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
I just remembered I won't be at Extensions today. I've got a tonight.
That's fine. I can give you your test back tomorrow. You're good, man.